Hey guys, KP here for another caster game from the tippity top of the ladder. We got EL.loueMT up against loueMT. Now, when I saw the Ottoman pick, I got intrigued. I had to see this. We're on 2x speed just the other game to get through it and see what's going to be cooking. Because Ottomans, I feel like, has been slept on still. You know, we just exited the Pro Scouts meta that arguably did not favor them. We're now into a new horizon of discovery. And I feel like not many people have been tapping into the Ottomans. I think that I said it best on the weekend when we were casting on EGC's channel, that since the patch dropped, since the DLC was added and the capture age was revamped, I have cast a total of one game where I saw the Vizier Council UI. This is the second one. And that is correct. You did just hear me correctly. We can now finally see the Imperial Council points without having to switch to the ugly UI. So, Elio, what's the goal here? He opens with the military school, but he's running across the map, and I'm kind of scratching my head as to why. Against Rus, it's kind of pointless. Rus is that civ that still doesn't need to touch their gold. Between the food they get and gather gold from it, and the fact that they generate off the hunting cabin, there's no reason for them to do anything with the gold. So yeah, a little bit funky, but the thing you can do to make this worthwhile isn't going to happen, because Louis has already counted it. I don't know, EL.loueMT. This is a bit rough. Oh, he will find the village around the back. Okay, so that's not bad. And you can eventually burn this one down. Yeah, Louis got a little bit greedy. I guess technically he had to try and hide the hunting cabin because placing one here wouldn't have changed the outcome. And credit to him, I guess EL.loueMT did get something out of this in the end. loueMT has to drop the archery range now. Not the end of the world for him. He's still going to be playing for Pro Scouts timing eventually, but also this can eventually be used for horse archers. Horse archers are a little bit weird in this matchup now, by the way. They used to be pretty damn good against Ottomans because Janissaries took too much damage. But there was a rework a while back where Janissaries now specifically have a tag that archers get bonus damage against. So that changed the dynamic. It used to be that a Janissary would take 50% more damage from the crossbow, from a horse archer, etc. Now, it's only archer-specific counters. So if EL.loueMT can survive a little bit deeper in this game, things can start to look up. You guys get to pick what matches you cast on EGC. We have some input in the qualifier days, because to be crudely honest about it, people like me and Crackety will have a better idea of actually what close matchups will be than anyone on the back-end crew, probably. Just makes sense. Obviously, Crackety plays up against these people a lot, day in, day out. I cast more games than anyone else in Age of Empires at this stage. So yeah, like, when it comes to qualifier days, it makes sense. Later on, it becomes a strategic layering. As a tournament organizer, you want to try and balance your day to have the hype matches in the center towards the end of the day, simply so that people are drummed up hype-wise to keep tuning in. Because what you don't want to do is, like, front-load the day with, say, like, Beastie versus Marine Lord and, you know, loueMT versus Dumu, and then have the less-known players at the end, because all of a sudden you have peak viewership at an early point, and then you fall off. The reason that's bad, by the way, guys, is realistically, you want your stream to be growing as time goes on, and also you want to be playing around prime time. Like, prime time, you want to reach your threshold. So if you have 4 series a day, you want series 2 and 3 to be the best series. Because series 1, people are just starting to get in, and series 4, the reality check is Age of Empires 4 is nowhere near as popular in NA. Not from a viewership standpoint. Which is to be expected. If you think about it, like, from an organic standpoint, day to day, the US market doesn't really have any flag bearer that is big. You've got some people trying to be content creators, but, like, reality check is, you know, you've got, like, Beastie, Dumu, me, Marine Lord, Lash, you know, basically, like, almost every single content creator that will average above 200 reliably, 200 views, is European-based. So, as a result, people's viewer patterns anchor to those hours. Archers? Nice stab in here by Louis. Gotta say, I'm actually impressed by what he's doing with his small group of spears and archers. He's still trending with Castle Age, but credit where credit is due to EL.loueMT. He's gonna beat him. Welcome to the most underwhelmingly boring fight to watch in the history of fight. Actually, that's not true. It could be Dark Age Spear versus Dark Age Spear 1v1. Okay, EL.loueMT probably looking at a Mehmed Imperial Armory. We haven't really seen much deviation from that in recent times. I was hoping we'd see Istanbul Imperial Palaces coming in, but to be bluntly honest with you guys, for some reason, they buffed Stringholds, and that buff, I think, guaranteed that Mehmed Imperial Armory will remain the de facto use. Nice looks around here. Looks like Elyo we'll be able to mop up the small group. But loueMT, has he now got the space to go for his tech? I think so. That pullback pretty much gives it to him, but Elyo has a pretty sick timing ahead of him if he pumps a few troops. He did go for the Anatolian Hills for the extra sheep. He has not gone for the Imam point here, actually. Imam point can be very valuable. I think you're able to afford it fairly swiftly here. But because he'll already be aged up probably by the time he'd get it, it's not going to be worth it. Speaking of age ups, high trade house on the way. Guys, get your number in. That looks like a good one. We'll go for a little bit of 2x speed here. Well, there's been a bit of a slowdown. Elyo still just harassing on the front side, but Louis, as you saw on the other side of the map, is still sneaking goodies home. And this is Lancer opening? Probably Lancer opening. Okay, yeah, he did get the point. Imams are on the way. So mirror tech timings. If Louis rushes horse archers, he can intercept, but the problem is he's probably reluctant because he's seen Sipahi. Sipahi will shred horse archers if they get anywhere near you. They're very high damage. Hey, it looks like Louis just playing budget tier army. Spears, archers, spears, archers. What else does a growing boy need, you know? It's going to be a fail and wait. Elyo, oh no. Yeah, so it's still kind of okay for him, but that could have been much, much better. He loses 2 Sipahi. loueMT overextended with those spears. If Elyo had gone straight away onto the Sipahi, he probably wipes all archers and loses nothing. So kind of crazy. He gives a little bit better of a trade to Louis. At a point where Elyo doesn't really have much standing army. High trade house, by the way, 155. Not bad for Himeyama. Yeah. You know what would have been better? Could you imagine? Oh my god. I'm disappointed, Louis. And in fairness to him, we have God Vision. Remember, he wouldn't have seen this small path. But that would have been the most disgusting high trade house you could have imagined. Like, if I knew about this, I would have sent a villager out to add hunting cabins straight up. Maybe that's why I'll never make top 100, but think about the numbers. And you'd never be found, actually. I feel like if you did walk straight out there, guaranteed you just revealed yourself as a map hacker. Because like we said, he did walk past there. They both did. And there's no actual indication that this is a full grove. Yeah, so funny thing about Warlords, they don't work on religious units. And I know that guy is stabbing in the face, but he's stabbing you in the face. Really. That wasn't a speech impediment. Like, remember, warrior monks are religious tags, so they can't be killed by conversions. You have to murder them in the face. So he does clean them up afterwards. Elyo already has 1 relic home, 2nd one on the way. Honestly, things are looking fairly decent for him. I don't know if he's considering fast Imperial Age. He's definitely stockpiling a lot of food right now. Back on the 2xp, just because I'm mindful we have got an upcoming series in our tournament that we don't want to miss. A lot of extra gear for Louis now. Spawns coming through. Actually moves out for the ball. Kind of smart, actually. Most of the focus is north side because they're playing relic games. I actually like this idea. Like, conceptually, what Louis has done is he's taken a very low-risk play. Because, like, why else would Elyo come down here? The funny part is, like, neither of them know the final relic is here. So there's literally no reason for Elyo to go south. Dive in now from the Lancers. That is without Underbash, mind you, but both of these guys have kind of been sinful with the Blacksmith decks. Elyo only with Steeled Arrow. loueMT at 50 minutes in when he's playing Mass Archers is only now getting Arrow 1. Crazy to actually think. Usually you're expecting to see it around 10 minutes if you're going to keep playing Harassment. We do have an adorable scout maneuver here to try and stop the hitman. It's going to take a lot more than that, though. This is looking like a 5-relic game if they ever find that south one. Oh, good denial just in time. And the Mango. What? Where's the guard? Oh my god. A freebie here. And the Mango, funnily enough, actually got some really good hits in despite the fact it was fully overextended. Spinman line is going to spread out. Just stay away from the archers. Right now, EL.loueMT is gunning for Louis with mass. Going to steer to the south side, or north side. He's trying to play the flanks here. But Louis' kind of power is thinner, but his power is waning, man. He's losing an archer battle against Ottomans in Castle. Despite the 20% extra wood, it just doesn't matter. And the crazier part is there is no meta here. He only just arrived. He hasn't been buffing this army. This is crazy. EL.loueMT just so good on the trades. And attempt to backstab is not going to work out. Perfect time as well. EL.loueMT needed to resecure this corner because he has got to go for the berries. Oh, archery ranges Louis. I like these adding in men-at-arms, but I don't like the spearmen kind of feel irrelevant in these fights. EL.loueMT is bulking into lances. Even has his own men-at-arms now coming. Yeah, so similar ideas from each player, really. But the lances are going to be the key difference maker. Also, Mangoes now actually have value. Because you push your opponent into his base, you're guaranteed really good hits. The other sad reality, guys, remember, he doesn't have veterancy. This whole time, these spearmen have been wielding plastic. He stand his ground. Meta does finally get sniped, so EL.loueMT, he played this well, but this might be a slight overextension. Pulls the lancers away. Spear count is still good enough to scare him off, and I do believe EL.loueMT gambled on the wrong angle here. He has got a second wave coming in, but by the time it arrives, it's been cleared up, and all of a sudden, EL.loueMT just lost control of this game. Louis still has some issues to solve, more the way he extends wider on the map. He is also up against Lancers when he doesn't have any, and both of them are playing flank resources. But considering what EL.loueMT's position in this game was just a mere 2 minutes ago, this is a rapid improvement, a ridiculous improvement, in fact. Yeah, and kind of, I don't want to say gifted to him. Obviously, you have to earn these type of victories in the moment, but I think EL.loueMT's going to be kicking himself. That urgency to try and rush the game end up ending. Louis still denying. I don't know how many monks have died over this one relic. 3? EL.loueMT now switching to crossbows. Interesting, actually. loueMT does not have many spears. No, did he assume that it was no longer lancers? Oh my god. Okay, that's actually really bad for him. He's making the appropriate switch up now, though. We've got crossbow plus spear. EL.loueMT can't really rush Imperial Age with this type of access. He has barely any food. Oh, whoa, Louis. He finds him moving out of the berries. Get 2 more kills. Okay. So, all of a sudden, EL.loueMT is starting to fall behind. Military score count is respectable, though. So he's offset the threat there. Obviously, Louis has his own upsides. He's got the 20% more wood. He has got 173 gold coming in from the high trade house. And he also, what, maybe going to extend additional hunting cabins? Because he's got 24 here, 26. That's another 50 gold. Both of them do start reaching the point where they have to worry about farms. Which it should, in theory, be an easier thing for Rus to do. They have a buffed gathering rate due to the bounty system, and then also they have 20% more wood for those farms. So, you know, EL.loueMT, it's more about trickling troops up to 200 if it feels good because of the passive production. But once you're at that raw 200, loueMT's position is going to feel better. The question is if we can get there. Nice clash. EL.loueMT finds the army divided. Divide dive. Louis pinned in the corner. There's nowhere to run with these archers, so they're going to be hunted down. Doesn't even try to turn around. Just keeps on running, waiting for the reinforcements to arrive. They have just turned up. EL.loueMT once again with these mangoes, man. I think he just hates his siege. Keeps happening. right, back to 2x speed. This game is going on a little bit longer than I was expecting. Could maybe end quite abruptly, though. EL.loueMT is out of food, and he just ran himself into a corner. loueMT now on the way. An army that could actually rout him here. Crossbow archer divide is fairly similar. Archers. Oh, I love that Louis. He just sends them right around the back. So now the crossbows are trading poorly. They might kill these archers, but they're not actually wasting into the men arms that they actually are meant to beat. Crazy maneuver by Louis. More troopers on the way. EL.loueMT is still kind of pinned here. Meanwhile, food has moved out to the center of the map, so this is Danger Town now for him. 2 TC as well. What? Okay, if Louis realizes or suspects what is going on here, a double down wins him the game now. It's so hard to know, though, because your opponent has gone for a very reserved 2 TC. He hasn't built it somewhere aggressive. Still so much deer here as well for pro scouts. Just love how annoying Louis is being with these little archer raids. Gonna march in again. Good reactions out of EL.loueMT though. We'll bypass, which is gonna force a reaction, so it's party now on the way. And we all of a sudden have a huge stalemate. Because I think both of them now need the farms. Yeah, Louis adding in his. EL.loueMT no doubt is thinking about it. The berries, the deer, not going to last very long here. He's going to get the walls up first to secure his economy, and then we're going to see more and more of this. Alright guys, ones if you think we're seeing Imperial Age, twos if it's ending in Castle. I feel like this is ending in Castle. But the way Louis is building, the priority on men at arms suggests he wants to send it. But EL.loueMT has made the correct read. Like, crossbows will be the sufficient comp. And also, Louis has another big problem. He hasn't really resolved the mango issue now. Earlier on, it was kind of like whatever because there wasn't enough troops and you also just found them weirdly unguarded. But now it can actually threaten you. I think actually what would be sicker for EL.loueMT even is Springles. Springles just beats all this. Louis again with the raid. You know what they say about raiding, guys. If at first you don't succeed, Control-Shift-A, and try again. Those that don't know that selects all units, not even like just all units. Oh god, the amount of times that I've accidentally pressed Control-Shift-A instead of Control-Shift-C breaks my heart. This is why I don't advise free-for-all games. Free-for-all games makes you want to use Control-Shift-A. It sets you up for failure. I think what annoys me most about doing that is there's not a click to make them go back to work button. Once it's done, you're like, okay, now I have to put them back on what they were doing. How many of you guys were gathering wood? How many of you guys were on gold? TTC now from Louis. Okay, I think we're actually going to be seeing Imperial here at this rate. It's just a stare down. Double clicking reveals the worst. Oh, that's why I have the do not select villages when military is nearby. So if I do this, I will select, there you go, military, but not the villages. Thank God for that. It's kind of funny, like I've been playing other RTSs recently, and there's some things you just take for granted. Like, thank God there is a way of selecting all military buildings and just producing shared out of them. Because I've been playing Tempest Rising, and one thing I just can't stand with Tempest Rising is in the UI on the side, you have tabs for every single production building. But it's not like you click into the vehicle area, and you queue up tanks and it gets queued between all the factories. It's each factory. So you have to use a control group. Then here's another kind of frustrating thing I noticed. You can control group to override, but you can't control group to add like we do with Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3. Small things, guys. Really, really does make the experience. How is it? I think it's okay. I think the problem with the game for me is it lacks the character of a Command & Conquer game. The nuances that make it great. The characters. The actual characters. Everyone talks about the graphics of like how the general looks in the cinematics and whatever. I think that's cool. But like I don't care for the voice actor. It just feels like they played XCOM one day and was like, Let's get that guy to voice like that. But it's like, I almost feel like it's like, I don't say AI generated rendering. It's more, you can tell that they put a mocap on someone and just had him read the script. Yeah, you haven't got Kane. We haven't got Romanov from Red Alert. What we might have is a decisive fight. Hold on a second. Louis, where were you going? Oh my god, this is so frustrating. EL.loueMT is tilting him a little with these horsemen because you can't catch them. They just stand there and they stop you running because you have to turn and fight. Body block now comes in. He, I think, didn't activate Fortitude. That was just the aura growing on him. loueMT is now starting to shrivel up a little here. Double Sacred Sight locked in, a wipe of the army, and now the full chase down. He turns around the Men-at-Arms to try and slow things down, but there is no turning against this. EL.loueMT has critical mass. He also has a Janissary switch on the way, which will set him up beautifully should Castle Age ever become, or Imperial Age rather, ever become an option. Oh, Mango's just chill for the 100 camera kills. Ah, this is rough. I think Louis, yeah, he's going for Imperial. The question now is, can EL.loueMT attack him quick enough to stop that? From his current position, like, theoretically, it is possible. He's got Trip Manga now. He pulled the Great Bombard. Okay, yeah, this is the send. This is a wacky timing. Where is it? Is it already? It's already here. And Louis knows. Oh my. Louis, maybe he was thinking about going for the age up. Now he has to reinvest, and it's going to be mass mangoes. Love the switch over to Springles though from EL.loueMT. Perfect counter for Men-at-Arms. We're going to go the 4x speed until we get to the next fight. Farm count is looking good. loueMT should be able to get a meat blob going. The question is whether he can scale it quick enough. Can he get the numbers online? EL.loueMT is stockpiling. He's at 200 population. Imperial is inevitable. Unless those mangoes can hit hard enough. Nice little flurry. Slow down temporarily. Hitting the houses would be pretty smart here. Potential pop block opportunities. The Great Bombard is waiting for his targets to come in range. Remember, these mangoes on the Ottoman side do have the attack speed buff, so they should technically win this trade. Problem is, he's not actually hitting them, and also the villages are now getting the opportunity to repair, so EL.loueMT, you start backing away. The Great Bombard, oh my god, you're griefing yourself right now, man. Not like this. Loses another mango. Great Bombard is going to go for the deploy. Shot comes out. Mango follow-up. Not quite good enough. That extra mango dying means he actually can't snipe the siege. Great Bombar's going to go for another shot. The pathing is giving him opportunity here, but I think with the tech coming behind this, EL.loueMT is just going to back up, age up, and this game's going to keep going deeper. Which is annoying because we have got one of our tournament series to cast. So we will definitely use 4x between fights for this reason. Tech up complete, now mirrored. High armory is going to be a good one. Allows you to discount, get into bombards. Massing bombards is going to be your best answer to Great Bombards. And actually, by the way, Rus are pretty good at doing that because of this tech. Siege crew training allows you to immediately deploy bombards. So you can get in, snipe, and get out before Great Bombards can attack. So definitely a winnable siege wall, actually, for Rus. EL.loueMT with the edge in this lead tech is looking to push it. He's going to bait the army out the gates. You really want to be here, though. Just the crossbars on the way. loueMT is an expensive tech, and he's gambling the game on it here. EL.loueMT did lose control of that northern sacred site to just a single spear. Little raid coming in is going to frustrate his gold gathering. EL.loueMT. What is he waiting for here? Maybe elite army tactics? Did he get the trench guns? I do not think so. So his Janissaries didn't get that nice little damage buff. Wow. I'm getting a bit worried, actually. I feel like the more this slows down, the better it gets for Louis right now. You can talk about passive production all you want, but what about passive gold? What does that get us? You know, Mass Streltsy versus Janissary, that's going to be a win for Streltsy. Sipahi are going to be critical here to try and hold on in that regard. But the Mass Mango strat, pretty damn good. With the Siege Crew deploying, very, very powerful, even into Bombards. Speaking of Bombard, the Great Bombard is starting to hit the backside. It looks like EL.loueMT, I see what he was doing here now. He wanted to pull to the edge of the map so he can't be surrounded. trying to basically turn the fight into a tug of war. Die now coming in, freaking those men at arms. Straight on the Great Bombard. Wait, why? Elio? Oh my god, he thought the shot in return was more worth it. It does work out though! He keeps the Great Bombard alive! Mangoes are coming, however. And that's going to spell an end for the grinders of siege weapons. Look at the exhaustion there. The amount of blue bodies and the military difference now. There's going to be a rally to the south side. Elyona does need to mop up Louis' raiding force. But after that, it should just be a double down on the push. Sprinkle's still proving a nuisance here as well. Mangoes are going to be able to smush the front line. Look at the immediate repop. And oh my god, is it a big repop into Sipahi. Not good against the spearmen, especially with the army tactics on the way. However, if you rush the economy, he's knocking at both doors. Didn't use the fortitude. Small group of troopers are on the way. Elio should win this. We're talking about Louis. What a founder. How dare you. Elyona, pride of France. Playing the anti-France here, actually. Louis doing his thing again. He's going for the raids. Oh my god, why did I think we'd have enough time to cast the Louis game and then just smoothly be into our next one? I should have known. Louis, if he gets rid of the siege, or rather, Elyona, if he gets rid of the siege, I don't think Louis actually has the gold access to just immediately revoke. It's a big deal. Choke points are going to protect him. Elyona's kind of griefing himself. He goes towards the farms instead. He leaves the men at arms to deal with the spears. And look at that spread. The immediate panic. Louis needs to run. He's circling, though. He's coming back towards the siege again. I mean, this is pretty much pick your poison. We either kill your son or we kill your wife. Which is it going to be? Okay, he chooses wife, I guess. Prodigal son, his mangonels, is going to live, but it's going to come at a tall price here. Arms going idle again. Sipahi chasing. Frontline is going to be able to hold on long enough for Louis to get the second wave in. But Elyona is massacring those farmers. Choke points are now griefing him a little. But the farm's inoperable. This is the problem now for Louis, because if Elyona keeps doing this, Louis won't have the food to remax. So really important that he finishes off this wave and gets back on those farms ASAP. Louis actually... Wait, what? Roller shutter triggers, really? I mean, even if it's Sipahi, I don't know if that makes sense, but against Janissaries. Yeah, the only thing that kind of worries me a bit for Elio is like this idea of switching Janissaries. In theory, very cool. But in practice, like, how are you getting to the enemy base? You're building the slowest unit you could that has 2 lives. Four-legged boys are dead. I don't know, man. Like, something... I'm just getting this uncomfortable feeling about this game for Elyona. The fact that he should have been able to crack the egg, but couldn't crack the egg. Like, *loueMT, just a sick hold in his base. And it's his signature play, folks. Anyone who's watched this channel for a little bit, we've seen plenty from Louis. Louis is a master of defense. The longer the game goes on, the more worried you get. Even if you're Ottomans. Oh, that is a terrible attempt to raid. Gets cut off. Trapped against the university. Almost like a subconscious learn to raid. And learn to eco. Are you kidding me? This little ratatouille right now. I'm going to keep speeding up with his fights. The Skrulls are a proper match. I said it was kind of weird against Janissaries. It's not terrible personally. It's just you wouldn't think about it. But the reality check is Janissaries are very low HP hand cannons. So even though Sprinkles are pretty 50-50 split between their bonus and their base, it's good enough. I can't believe it. I actually think he's good. He has 42 siege population right now. This is ridiculous. And the way he staggered it as well, Mangoes go forward, Sprinkles behind. If you try to dive him, he just pulls back and the Sprinkles kill you for the dive. It's really efficient. I swear to God, this guy is single-handedly going to get walls nerfed again. He's on a mission, a crusade at this point. The infamous Louis box. Or as I like to call it, Louis encampment. Well, looks like EL.loueMT going to try to go before he can set it up. Sipahi. I mean, they are able to get in here. Mangoes can start being targeted. Great bombards with the striking. They go straight off in the backline siege. Doesn't care about the spring horns, apparently. Just needs those mangoes gone. I mean, the spring horns, they're very easily replicated. The mangoes are what are going to burn a hole in Louis' pocket. Look at that. We were up to 42 siege. Down to 6 population into it now. Damn, that was a critical fight for EL.loueMT. I think control of this game was slipping away until that point. Fantastically done by the Frenchman. Now, can he follow it up? I mean, you've got 3 great bombards. You have to assume it's just a barrel towards the enemy base. With limited hesitation. I mean, without the mangoes, what really is the answer to mass Janissaries? Doesn't feel like there is one. Back to the 2x speed here. They rebulk to go again. Louis is going to try to lead mangoes once more with very limited gold access as a problem. Dropping a castle to try and secure additional. Janissaries diving in. Jumped on top of, but he has got that starter step to pull away easy peasy. Back here. What? He got the great bombards. He actually sniped them. Okay, that's sick. Spearman group comes in clutch here. EL.loueMT has forced him back again. Oh, apologies for the 4x AX speed, but we are meant to be casting a tournament series right now. I just don't want to leave this one hanging anymore. It's got so incredible. He's going for even more great bombard kills. He won't be able to get this one. I mean, the reset, getting rid of 3 was good enough. It bought him so much time here. And with that time, all of a sudden, Lou's going to have additional gold access. Oh, hello. Nice denial, Castle. Has to be cancelled by EL.loueMT. Really frustrating as well. He's got 2.5k stone he wants to commit. There's nowhere of committing it. Games. Love this. Just strategically smart. Just allows you to pull the siege out much easier. Soon. Soon. Oh my god, Janissary attack speed OP. I thought a Louis game wouldn't go in. Yo, he doesn't always pull the game in. I mean, this one looked good to end at a reasonable point, but now... Now I am full the shrug. EL.loueMT going up to 62 Janissaries, and we are seeing that correctly. He's queued a Carrick. Guys, it's not a meme. It makes sense. If he's building only Janissary, how does he break through a wall? Carracks. Big brain. We even actually have lightweight beams on the way. So EL.loueMT might try to sneak some siege workshops and be annoying. Alright, we're just going to speed this up until we get to the big fight, because Louis is turning this into a tilt raid game. I mean, this is the problem of EL.loueMT's strategy. Just going into mass Janissaries is great if you have stone walls. You know, for those stone walls that'll... Oh, he doesn't have any stone walls. So you've got 64 Janissary that can never actually catch up. They'll eventually be able to cut it off, but by the time you cut off a raid, you've now gone to the back of your base. So Louis is just not being harassed. And there's that tech we talked about before, fine-tuned guns, alongside the siege crews, which I believe we already got. So there's the immediate deploy, and then fine-tuned guns, quite funny. Not really necessary against Janissaries. I'm pretty sure you one-hit Janissaries with bombards, but hey, you know, maybe we should add an extra ragdoll tech to this. That you send it flying. Guys, you need to finish. I've got a Luciferon Scatterbrain series to cast. You guys reckon if they ever rework mangoes, is Louis just gonna retire from it? I feel like he likes this. So like some people, I don't know. So some people don't like this style. Some people say they don't like this style and they're lying. Wow. Some people actually very clearly like this style and they wouldn't even lie to you. And I feel like Louis fits that final category. We've got more supply now coming. Whoa, right from the back as well. Louis. Spears. Can he protect him? I mean, he's still getting good trades into Jannies. Get mobbed up in there. I just feel like this game is never ending. This is ridiculous. How is this game not over yet? Can he get the Great Bombard? No. EL.loueMT packed it up at the perfect moment there. Keeps it alive. Janissaries, of course, can repair him. And we do have 2 bombards, so that should be able to clear the castle. The key here, by the way, the reason why fine-tuned guns is important, why all these details are important, killing the siege. Great bombards are very tanky. You need every little bit of damage you can get with these bombards. With the pack-up tech, he can move in, snipe, and move out. It's a very big deal. The problem right now is loueMT moving in would require basically headbutting bunches of power. Does it not one-shot Jans without the tech? I thought it does, because they're 105 health. You get plus 50 against infantry. Oh, yeah, I think you do... No, you do enough. You do 75... Isn't it 75 base against infantry, and then the base of... sorry, 75 bonus, and then base of 50. You do 125 now. No? So Janissary gets one hit by a bomb. Unless I've mathed incorrectly. Or even if it's 45. I think bombards might be 45. You're right. Ah, that's music to my ears. Say it louder. Yeah, you gotta remember, hand cannon is very tanky 130. Janissaries are made of glass. Mass mangoes again. By mass, I mean 5. I mean, you don't really want that many. It's enough against Janissaries to kill them. The problem is if you build more supply, you're going to eat them. It might even happen anyway. He only built a single gate here. Louis, who's infamous for his gating, actually kind of pushed himself over a little bit there. That creates the space. Great bombards to get rid of the castle. So now EL.loueMT has double secret site access. He's got a keep on the south side. He even has an emplacement inside it. I don't know. This is starting to look like an EL.loueMT game now. I think Louis, he's played really well up to this point. He has still got gold, so theoretically it's not over. But I think we're starting to see critical mass here. Great Bombard count up to 4. And I like the balance. I think EL.loueMT earlier on had a regular issue of either building too many cavalry or too many gunpowder. This comp looks more balanced. And he's at a stage now where he's building reserves. So if Louis does his classic raids again, I don't think you focus on that. Because if you run back now, like, you lose control again. Crazy how much gold Louis still has. I mean, it's only a few hunting cabins. Yeah, it's only a few hunting cabins. Yes, like only a few. Do I need to say it again? It's only a few hunting cabins, guys. 9 villages on gold and 1,152 gold per minute. Just Rus Sphinx. Also just Rus Sphinx. That's a lot of bombards. Can the GBs do it? They need to deploy. Goes for a shot, but unfortunately that snipe means he doesn't have enough firepower now. And the wait, what are the Janissaries doing? Oh. It's not over. Oh, God. EL.loueMT have an RL job? I think he does. So Louis like, I guess we just keep going until you have to go to work. Louis like, I'm a kiddo. This is my work. Oh, back up to 4x. We do at least have another raid attempt on the back. I think Louis did lose a few villages on the golds. Doesn't really care too much. And it's going to be a move back to the gold. He's just stopping him from getting that 6-shot wing condition. We've got Louis CG on the way again, or CGMT. And oh my god, guys. We fast forwarded to live. I can't fast forward anymore. Oh, help me. He's doing it. I've seen less box wall palisade defenses in Cossacks than I see in loueMT games. And if anyone's played Cossacks, you'll realize how often you see this type of like layout in a scenario. Why do you think casting a Louis game was a good idea? Because like I saw he was there and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. Ottomans versus Rus. That's not really a matchup that like goes into the late game that often. I feel like we roll Ottomans. Ottomans will do something crazy. He's starting to get the walls up. He's using Elio's so cold against him. Elio's trying to bait him into an overextension. Wait. Louis! Look! Pathing. Kind sir. Alright, that was almost a wipe of the siege unnecessarily. loueMT wit. Like, just have them attack at this point. They're drunk. Turn and fire. What the hell? Backstab now. Elyona. It's happening again. With siege already cleared. Rest of it should fall. loueMT is now pulling, what, 8th of his economy to try and protect it. I mean, he actually has... Whoa. Hold on. He has actually kept a decent amount of bombards alive. I don't, like, feel as if you need this many bombards against Sipahi, though. I think it's for the great... Like, I think the bombards are to deal with the GBs. It's for these. And also, actually, like, in hindsight, Elyona can make this more frustrating for Louis if he just remembers siege works. But then you have to get additional bombardments. Like, 2, I think? No, it should be 1 extra siege works. No, I think it's 2. Because siege works got altered slightly, didn't it? If I can... No, it's 20%. Okay, why am I doubting myself? Yeah, so if you get an extra 50 health, it doesn't require more than 1 additional bombard hit. Because your base is 66. Is there a point where you garrison the GB would have been nice? It doesn't fix his pack-up issues. He'd still have that. The biggest problem is that he went for this great bombard ticket here. So yeah, he definitely would have in some ways benefited from siege crews. But like other things that could have been nice, I think. Dare I say like the meta move speed? Maybe. Is this game where Kinji could have been relevant actually? Because just raiding? Possibly. This game's still going? Yeah, and we have like a comp series to cast. But you know, like sunken cost fallacy? We've been casting this for an hour now, so we're seeing the resolution, and then we're hopping into Luciferon Scatterbrain. So, well, yeah, sending it again. Wait, but that hold on. You have landmarks. That's a lot of army. Oh my god! And the spears get pulled back to deal with this, but he's rolling into the base with a second wave. Louis, he's doing the exact same maneuver here. Doesn't know where all the landmarks are, though. He only sees 3 of them. The Istanbul Observatory is further to the south. Wait, he does know. He scouted it. It's a base race. And then Imperial Armory first. Villages being pulled here. You need to be careful. Those springles, if they target onto the villages, he can easily protect this. Nemo, other side. The High Armory, absolutely fine. Gets the repair crew in. And then Imperial Armory is down. Madrissa next on the hit list. Springles, look at the massacre. The villages are stacked up. He's not shooting them. He's actually shooting onto the Sipahi instead. Finally turns onto the target. Meanwhile, it's going to be Istanbul Observatory down as well. It's a base race. Elyona barely keeping it alive. The berries are being roasted right now, but they'll still be gathered. Minaret Madrissa soon to fall. The TC almost derelict the Golden Gate down, but the High Armory stands tall and stands firm, as does Bambi Land over here. Unbelievable. And he's still pushing. The men-at-arms are just going for the torch damage. If he Springwood fires here, yep, goes for the shots. The Springwoods haven't been finished yet. The other group of spearmen have arrived. He's going for the Madrissa. Surely it's just easier to fight the army right now. What is this game? Neither of them are dead from this. Are you actually serious? Madrissa is down. But that is not enough troops to end the game. The Sapai have been chased away. I can't believe this. This is meant to be the race that just ends the game. And instead, it is a mere stalemate with both of them pretty much taking the same amount of damage. You can argue EL.loueMT had more of his buildings torched down, sure, but like the reality check is Eco State, they both got gutted down to about 70. Unbelievable. And EL.loueMT, oh my god, he's going again. He's actually going to try it again. 67 Sipahi. If this can't win him the game, like at this point, just resign and, I don't know, take up competitive Sudoku or something. Like, screw it. Like, what's the point? In terms of landmarks, he has got his work cut out for him, though. TC's not being actively repaired, but he's still got high trade house plus high armory behind a castle. Also, you know, Sipahi, compared to mass men-at-arms, more easily counted when they die for landmark snipes because spears. These production rates are kind of sad, I'm not going to lie. Like, all of his stables are around the observatory. He hasn't got the influence, so his production rate should be kind of wild. It's really not. Once more to the breach, I guess. Okay, I don't mind this idea of military schools. Like, both of them got exhausted by that, so you have to remax. What an incredible game. EL.loueMT's trade might be about to be seen. That's important. That's the only real way he's getting gold now. I mean, he has got the passive gold, but if you want to actively produce Janissaries, it's not cheap. Another hunting cap. Wait, what? Every little piece of gold matters, guys. Every time I see Louis do this type of crap, like this one actually the most is giving me flashbacks to Takeshi's Castle's maze level. They need to be more hexagon shaped, but it fits. Actually, it wouldn't be hexagon, would it? It was, is that hexagon? Yeah, I think they're hexagon shaped, yeah. Honestly, love these super late games. It can sometimes be interesting like this, but Faye hit it correctly in the trap. Like, this game just doesn't have enough base racing. It's kind of sad. If there was more base racing, then yes, like, late game. But I've highlighted this before. Like, late game suffers from a lack of finite resources. The game can go on too long, often in the late game. And that dilutes the experience, because instead of getting meaningful fights, we're just watching two people just send an army into each other on repeat. So it's really important, like, you know, I think late game's probably the area that still needs a lot of refinement in AoE 4. And I think the devs still the same. It's something that still needs to be adjusted. They tried a little bit with the changes to the university. I think there just needs to be more. I think it's like, instead of making things more expensive to access late game, you just need more amplification points in late game. Like, people were mauled about Sync Shot. Like, Sync Shot kind of fits that idea. Like, maybe it should be an Imperial tech instead. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of something that's only being Imperial. But, like, the concept of what synchronized shot can do in a fight, I'm okay with it. You can have your slower pace easy to digest in the other game. but it feels like in late game, you need to have a way that an army can just get erased. That's why Revoltaquins are theoretically really good. You enjoy watching it? So, what has more impact? Watching two dudes fight non-stop for 2 hours in a movie? Or, like, the anticipation, the build-up to them fighting, and then, like... So, like, yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming a decent amount of you've seen Star Wars, like the cartoon series, right? I think a perfect example of this is the Obi-Wan Darth Maul. Which, if you've not seen it, I recommend going and watching it. It is literally, like, the length of it is perfect. And some people are like, I want more cartwheels. But, like, reality check is what happens in that fight is emphatic and matters. That's why, like, a wall lull feels epic in Age of Empires 4. It's hard to get, and when it goes off, it is immediately impactful. Whereas right now, what we've got is a game where both players are struggling to find in the late game that final emphatic. We get mass mangoes every game for an army can be erased? Well, no. So, like, I think you've misunderstood what I just said. The current issue is that mass mangoes is the only way to mass wipe an army. So it is optional. What if you had more ways of disintegrating armies? More units like Landsknechte. Techs that, for example, allowed certain units to do penetration attacks. Like skirmishes. It's kind of like the idea, you know, like what adjustable crossbars in bodies isn't bad. The problem is that adjustable crossbars is just its own thing. Without a clean counterburst. Does that make sense? And it's always a balance. You have to, like, very much be careful, because if you make Imperial too good for the ability to wipe everything, then what people do is they rush Imperial every game. So it needs to be refined in a way that, like, obviously these techs are very expensive, but when you get to them, they have incredible impact. KP advocating for Attack of the Clones? Exactly. Like, if we just could... Like, we have Attack of the Clones, if you think about it. Like, these guys are definitely not being born and raised across 16 to 18 years. They are 100% being rapidly aged. 100 of them die, and then all of a sudden there's 100 of them that all look the same again. This is the Clone Wars. Only in this version, both sides of the Clone Wars. That's just not true. All Rus pickers are bots. Lou trying to communicate with wolves? Yes, but he does so in an ancient hieroglyphic tech that we have long since lost the biblicals. So no one actually understands what it's saying. Alright, we're doing it again, guys. I feel like we've been here before. I kind of have little faith in this. He's already used Fortitude to try and take this one out. And the villagers are keeping it alive long enough to be even more annoying. This also is leading to reproduction of spears. Other side, we've got something maybe a little bit more convincing. A slow siege through, linking the military schools. Double mango here with no Sipahi to snipe them. It means Janissaries actually can't fight this forward army. Late game torch damage should get buffed because of games like this. Yeah, just like have additional text so that you keep buffing it. I think I've talked before about how I would actually like to just see the Sacred Site timer rework so that it resumes, but obviously you need to rework daily. That would solve this, because then they would have been fighting into this point instead of each other's bases, and you would have seen an opportunity to end. It doesn't mean we wouldn't have the epic base race opportunity, but you'd have an equal point to contest. Yeah, because if you make Sacred Sites resume, you'd have to rework Delhi. Otherwise, Delhi could just win the game way too easily. So you'd have to change it so that they can't get a resume timer into a castle. But you'd also, like, it's awkward because you'd have to code it in such a way that if they had 5 minutes on the clock and they could castle and they got decapped, it couldn't resume the fight. Alright, so EL.loueMT is saying death to wolves. It's gonna be a long process. Oh my god. The Lucifron Scatterbrain series is meant to start 45 minutes ago. Miscalculated. Oh god. Just loueMT things. And we now have the block of the trade. Okay. Can we stop with the... He's walling the same way that you would kind of like set up, what is it, kind of concrete rebar expansions where you leave gaps so that like if it expands it doesn't break. All right, guys, now we can be a campaign scenario. You stick basically a Streltsy in each one of these tiny little choke points. I'd laugh, but I didn't want to cry. Is that triple Springled? Are you kidding me? They walk around. Oh my god. For a man who walls so much, I can't believe how much he hates trade. Okay, but EL.loueMT, I think, is sick and tired of this. This is do or die. Look at the population. He's blobbed. It's a go. If this doesn't work and I'm EL.loueMT, I'm just leaving the game because even if Louis like, I won, yay, my brain is like, neither of us won. High trade house being sniped down. Four architects are going to be good enough to protect. Great bombards have arrived as well, so that's one landmark dead. The TC already on fire. This is it. Rushes to the backline. He knows this is going to be the challenge point. Spearman can intercept you here if you don't rush it. Fortitude is not being activated on any of the supply right now. And the villager crew is just repairing. Louis, with a 900 wood in reserve, should be able to hold on. The great bombards need to finish this. He knows it. The pathing, though. The pathing! Where are they going? High armory. Now we're starting to feel a real impact. The spearmen have wasted all the time with the supply. There's nothing left to count the bombards. Castle's trying. Might be able to get through this one. This is going to be tight, though. A hairline finish. The walls, the buildings roughly break. He gets it again. This is it. EL.loueMT. One more shot. And he's done it. loueMT will not win the late game.